Yes, people, you are listening to Troy Banks, TROYBANXZ, aka Mr. Goodness, live with the Troy's Tracks podcast featuring our special guest, the one, the only General in General, aka David Smith.
Hey, what you saying, Joe? What you saying?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's good to have you down in Next Man Town, man.
Thank you. I'm honoured to be the first.
All the better. Yeah, man.
First guest. Yeah, and being down here from London, it's a nice break. It's a nice break.
Hold tight, South.
It's a nice break, man.
What has London been saying?
London's alright. It's getting a bit techie though at the moment. There's a few things
nonsense occurring.
For real. Just events here and there happening in South, like something happened in Stratham, something happened in East Croydon. It's all a bit mad.
Jesus, man.
It's all a bit mad, but we moved. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, I'm telling you, man. Even down here, like you think, oh, raw seaside town and that, but everyone's just watched Top Boy and all of a sudden got a battery in their back, man.
Listen,
it's a madness.
It's mad.
The amount of shouting and screaming I hear outside my window. Man's rallying the troops like it's Spartacus or something.
Listen, some people need to relax.
It's actually ridiculous, man. But
relax. Man.
Either way, we're alive and breathing.
Hallelujah.
And you got peace in it. It's like common sense. Find heaven in yourself and God and that. So
I love that.
Yeah, man. How do you find peace? How do you sleep?
I have to. So I'm teaching myself like a new schedule at the moment.
Yeah.
Really trying to just relax my mind because obviously you're going through the day and your mind's on 20 because you're just trying to get things done.
Yeah.
So it's about like slowing down your mind and just focusing. It's just just releasing things. I do that just through like putting down my phone. I watched a few people on YouTube. They say they read, so I just started reading last week on it. It's actually going alright.
Fair. What sort of stuff you been reading?
It's just a book on. It's called I forgot what was it called? How Music Works, something like that, by David Byron.
What? David Smith? Not
yet. I haven't written one yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. In
the future. Listen, in the future, definitely. But yeah, it's really interesting. It gives you a whole
perspective.
Yeah, literally, it talks about how when you're writing music, you should be like how the person that's writing it, how he thinks about where it's going to be performed.
Okay.
As well, so like acoustics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really helps like for me to focus on one thing and just relax and just relax, to be honest, because I read it in the dark. Do you know what I mean? Just have my night lights on.
I bet you sleep like with the night light. No, hold tight, foggy fresh.
Hold tight, foggy fresh.
No,
what about you? Like, how do you chill at night? Like, how do you find peace at night?
It's mad, man. It's a difficult one. So I have decided to try and lock off my like laptop time. So now I leave my laptop kind of set up by my desk, or at least try to.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Like, you always end up browsing, or you always end up like trying to finish off some work, or like wanting to add some extra tunes to your discography or anything. And just the light alone keeps you awake. So if I leave it so it's not near my bed, when I'm tired, I kind of roll over a bit easier, and it's kind of like, the phone screen's too small, it's a bit long for man. Let me actually just drop asleep.
Yeah, no, I hear
occasionally, that. Yeah, I like my incense as well, or like I like my smells and that. So the aroma diffuser to relax you. Maybe a little bit of lavender and that behind the ears. Shout out to Anthony. He gave that advice. Little bit of lavender. Yeah, and then man, I try a lot of stuff like the counting sheep and all that business. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I've tried
that.
I've tried that as well. It doesn't work. Like I've tried, cut it to 1,000. All of them things there.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing that's nonsense. I try to do, if I am on my laptop, the one thing I try to do is revise or do work, because every single stupid blood bread time, I'm telling you, man, every time you got all the energy in the world to do nothing, then as soon as it comes to do work, now all of a sudden you're tired. Now all of a sudden you need a nap.
Amen.
And now all of a sudden you need to lie down. Oh, it's only going to be 15 minutes. It's only going to be half an hour. Ask me how 3 hours later you're still lying in the same spot. Have you even gone to bed, or did you just want a reason to procrastinate?
Trust me, listen.
It's nonsense. Everyone has energy until it comes time to get
stuff
done and
Trust
do work.
me.
Every time I have assignments, man. Every time I have to do some sort of revision or something, all of a sudden, man, I'm tired. I need to
Yeah, I need to see.
I need to do this, or everything's immediate.
Trust
Bro,
me.
you know that lighter I haven't touched in
Yeah,
ages.
trust.
But I might want to burn my Santa Paolo sometime soon. So let me just like quickly fix it. Or like,
Or your eyes will start wandering around the room, and then all of a sudden you're retying your shoes in the shoelace because it was wrongly done or some stupid. That is
2
stupid.
hours later, you got about 7 tabs open on the origin of lighters and the origin of like gas and electricity.
Trust me.
And all them tabs you have open for your reading list to read your notes or do your assignment, you haven't touched once.
Them gone.
But you're convinced that you're being productive.
You are, to be
In
honest.
some aspects, yeah, you are. But where was
Increasing
this
your
energy
knowledge.
before?
Trust
man?
me.
It's so mad. But
Need the focus,
long
man.
story
Discipline.
short, to answer how I relax, I love my music, innit? I love my music. I love like my smells and my sounds and just trying to find peace. One thing I do, I've been doing it for a while now, the reducing anxiety thing. So basically you count down from 200 in multiples of 7.
Right.
So like
I'm lost.
193,
I'm like 7 more.
186, 179, 172. And apparently it's really meant to like relax you and like just reduce like stress or anxiety and stuff. And it works sometimes. Like when I go to sleep, it's harder because obviously you don't just drop off. So sometimes I get up to like 10,000 and try to go backwards just because you get bored and you drop off and you never reach 0. Or you just start from 200 and just start again. But that does help.
That must help. Yeah, I'm thinking that must help focus because you're saying 200 in 7s. I'm like,
you get used to it. You know? When I first started it was like 200. Out the calculator 2 minutes.
Just
later.
literally
193. But now it's almost like muscle memory, which is why I try and make it a bit harder and like do the 10,000 because you'll be like 200, 193, 186, 179, 172, 165, 158, and it's kind of like you get
imagine man's doing that at that speed.
You crease. Hey, do you remember back in like year 8, them times when we used to have to do my maths and that? We had. Do you remember the pie competition?
I think
but you have to remember all
Enlighten us.
You have to remember pi to like different.
Oh my days!
And Stuart was on job. Hey, shout out to Stuart.
Shout out Stuart.
Stuart was on. There's me. I got to about.
I got to like 2. That's it.
3.14, 159, 265, 358, 979, 323, 846, 264. Now
Jesus, you're reading out barcodes and things.
Nah, I remember that, man, because I think the prize was like a Wii or something, or like you get to
when you
choose
focus
the game
in
for Wii Club, and I was like, bro, I'm
on this. I'm on this.
I thought I was like, oh crud, I was like, that's about 20, 40 characters. Like I've been revising. Then man like Stuart just comes out and he spills the whole alphabet or the whole pie like up to about 200 decimal places, and you're just like, there's levels, man.
Hold tight, Stuart, bro. Hold tight, Stuart.
What a crease, man. But looking back, man, how much stuff do you think you actually use from school? Like music, I feel like that's carried with me obviously a lot. The practicing, maybe not necessarily the theory, but just getting the practice in.
Yeah,
like
definitely the practicing.
Tuesday lunchtimes and that. Hold tight the music.
Hold tight the music, bro, upstairs, bro. Man. Hold tight Josh as well. Hold tight Josh.
Don't even get me started on that icon, man. Don't
such
even
an
get
icon,
me started.
Such an icon.
This is what I mean again about there's levels, man. Josh is.
He's on a different moon. He's not even on Earth's moon. He's on a different moon, bro.
Man.
Sky is just on levels, bro.
It's just a different levels. I'm still trying. I just started picking up guitar again, and that's the motivation, just to learn the Shabba Colossus solo and all the old Shabba tunes, man. Because that guy's just levels, man. I don't know, but yeah, man. Are you still on your music quite a lot?
Yeah, no, literally. Because obviously I'm a vocalist. Because I'm at home most of the time, I'm always like every day I'm trying to learn like backing vocalist songs, so the backing vocals to like certain songs, and the way I try and warm up, the way I make sure I warm up every day is by implementing it into my like getting ready schedule. So if I'm going out somewhere, I start in the shower, I'm doing my warm ups, I've got my tracks, I'm playing it, I'm going along with it. When I'm creaming, I'm doing the same thing.
What cream do you use? Just
listen. Do you know what it is? I just learned about the shea butter thing and mixing the oils and essential oils together.
The shea butter and castor oil used to be a fire combination for me. Man. And the only reason why I say used to is because I'm lazy. So now I just like the one size fits all coconut oil. Yeah.
And I hear that still. I hear that still.
Yeah, the shea butter and castor oil is the thing for real. Man.
But no, I just implement it into getting ready. Or if I'm not getting ready, I'll just shower and then set up my mic and whatever, plug in my in-ears to my amp, and just practice that way, because I feel like
That's good
practice
stuff, man.
just leads to practice. It just increases. It just allows you to be better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once you're practicing daily, every day, you will see the results. Like even yesterday, I had let's call it a church gig yesterday. And I haven't belted like that in time. I was just like reflecting. I was like, I'm so proud of myself, because normally I sing in like a lighter kind of voice. Do you know what I mean? But I was proper belting out the song. So I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful.
And for the people who don't know, so what are the different like ranges of your voice, or how do you belt, and where are you meant to sing from? Because a lot of people sing, including me, when I'm like, I forget to vocalize, like sing like breathy, or they sing like nasally. So could you explain to
what
me
you want? What you want is, first of all, everything comes from how you intake the air. So you want to breathe in the air nice and low into your lungs. So we call that diaphragmatic breathing. So they say breathe into your belly, but you don't actually breathe into your belly. You're just using the muscles of your abdominals to like keep the breath sustained as you breathe in. So as you breathe in, you open up your stomach, like you push out your stomach, but you're breathing like deep, low into your lungs.
Okay.
And then as you're expelling the air when you're singing, you're just pushing you're making sure your belly's still pushed out, so it's not tensed, it's pushed out. So you elongate how long the diaphragm goes back into its normal position.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just literally how you breathe. And there's 3 types of breaths, but that's a whole different subject. 3 types of breaths.
And where do you say you sing from?
The diaphragm.
The diaphragm.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because that's the range you're looking for. So
it's that's the muscle your diaphragm is what you don't necessarily sing from the diaphragm, but you use the diaphragmatic breathing technique to get the best sustained breath. If you're looking for like a belty kind of breath, you just breathe higher. But again, that's a whole subject. That's a whole subject I can talk about.
So yeah, in fact, let's go a little bit into it. So how do the ranges influence styles? So say if you want a rock vocal, I'm assuming rock vocals are like kind of more nasally, whereas like a gospel or soul vocal is a bit more chest. Or...
Yeah, chest around the like mouth area.
Yeah.
So gospel, gospel is more chesty, more belty. Obviously, you do have like your classical aspects of gospel, but for the most part it's mostly chest and belt and then just high. But then when you change into classical, everything's mostly a head mix.
So is that how you got into music, your gospel or your classical?
How did I get into music? Well, to be honest, because I was brought up in the church, my mum sang, and then you get forced to be in the choir. Not that I didn't want to be in the choir, or not that I
but
did.
Everyone sings in church,
do you know what I mean? And then I kind of just liked it from there. Then when I was 16, that's why I was like, cool, I'm going to research how to sing. So I tapped into YouTube, how do I sing runs? And then Delisa Archer, shout out Delisa, my vocal coach in the future. I haven't booked her yet, but I'm going to book her. She did a video on runs, and I was just sitting there going, running and riffing. My voice is a bit tired, so I'm not even going to try and attempt. Because it's going to sound trash. My bad. It's going to sound trash. So but yeah, she was teaching me how to sing runs. And then I learned like breathing and how to sing in the mask and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just interesting, man.
And how do you feel like your musical influences have influenced you to now? So rather than the theory, what sort of tunes were you listening to?
Oh, I listened to everything. So back in the day, I used to. I'm someone that pick and chooses. Do you know what I mean? So back in the day, it used to be mostly gospel in it, because you're brought up being an SDA in the church in it. So it's like you kind of zoned off to just listen to gospel. My mum used to listen to the Gaithers growing up, so that's what we usually heard. But then growing up, you kind of do the research for yourself, and you're like searching everything. So you got your Kirk. You got your Hezekiah.
Shout out to Kurt. He just won a Grammy, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Long Live Love or something. Something like that. I can't remember the album title, but it was a great album. A wow album. I can't even speak English today. Imagine. What was that word? No, it was a great album. It's a lot. And then now I'm just, again, because, stepping into being a vocalist, I'm just branching out, trying to learn as much as I can. Just experimenting, really.
Yeah.
What about you? What kind of music like influences you at the moment?
Same, like a bit of everything. You know what? I just started getting back into my alternative rock because Block Party just had their anniversary. Okay, so if you guys don't know, date of recording this is the 8th of February 2020. And Block Party just had their anniversary on the 3rd of February. And it's been 15... Oh, well, I'm talking for this in a second. It's been 15 years since Block Party's Silent Alarm has been released. And that's like my favourite album of all time. My most influential album of all time.
I'm going to add that to my list, actually. I'm trying to listen to better albums.
Oh, it's iconic. It's the reason I'm in Bournemouth, man. Reason I'm in Bournemouth, like why I studied in my undergrad and why drums was my first instrument. Because...
is Block Party from Bournemouth?
So Matt Tong, who's the drummer of Block Party, he is from Bournemouth.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he lives partially in America and partially in Bournemouth, or he travels back to Bournemouth every so often. But yeah, so
sorry, say the album again. I'm taking it.
Silent Alarm.
Silent Alarm, Block Party. Cool.
And it came out in 2005. And my favourite album of all time, man. When I started playing music, sitting in the music block, year 8 or so, I just remember sitting there with my little MP3 and trying to learn the intro drums to Banquet, the intro drum fill.
I remember
that's
that.
how I started taking up like musical instruments and everything.
So were you playing that? Obviously, you said you did mention you started to pick up acoustic guitar. I think it was.
Yeah, I just started taking up guitar really. So I fiddled about with it a little bit. I'd say I started taking it a bit seriously back in 2018, just at the end of my dissertation, because I was learning it a little bit to basically try and write a song in about 3 weeks.
I love it.
But
I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. But I only started taking it seriously again, like actually learning the theory behind it and stuff recently, and I've been so happy to be able to learn bar chords, or at least start getting there, and power chords. Because before, you know what you're like, you just noodle and you just everyone wants to be a lead guitarist and solo all the time, and you're always soloing in minor key and bending stuff, and you just sound like a cat squealing. So it's nice to actually learn a bit of theory behind it, even if it is hard work. It makes you a better musician.
Someone tells me that you play bass as well.
Don't even get me started on bass. So I love drums. The reason why the only reason why I really kind of stopped playing drums as much is just because it's an expensive instrument. And
for real.
I used to have a place to practice, like back down in Lewisham when I was at church and stuff. I used to be able to use their drum kit and practice during like drum sessions and that. So, shout out to Nick and shout out to the Tab and that.
Shout out them.
Back in the day, man. Back in the day, learning drums and sitting there and just studying the craft. So I used to be able to practice there or practice in the music block at school. But obviously, when you move away to uni or at home, you can only practice that on cushions, or you can only paradiddle on practice pads. Yeah, which for the record, I haven't seen my practice pad in years, but I know I have one.
I literally, not to cut you in it, 2 days ago, I started drumming on my drum pad. It's a bit bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even, the speeds that I used to drum at, I can't drum at anymore. My hands are doing up struggle.
Do you remember when you used to do drum corps and you used to do the
How do you know B8, bro? How do you know B8? Imagine all the BDL people are going to be like, raw, how does he know that?
What's the tune?
You haven't even been to, that's B8.
B8, yeah. That's fire, man. I remember that. I'll never forget that. And when we used to do traffic and used to do
you even keep that you kept that drum fill alive, innit? I heard you play
the Black Taxi tab.
Yes. Shout out that drum.
This whole podcast will just be me just making random noises, man.
I love it, man.
But yeah, I remember those days. We had some good day, and that taught us our craft for real, because we didn't have theory teachers too tough.
We kind
in the original days, like we had like Mr. Burke at one point. Shout out to Mr. Burke, and obviously I had Nick from church, and then Mr. Atkinson. But we didn't too tough starting out. We didn't really get the theory or have like teachers and stuff, which I guess was the fun of playing.
We were just experimenting. Do you know what I mean?
And I feel that made me a better songwriter.
Trust me, for real.
Yeah, my frustration is that I could always write these intricate songs, but I could never necessarily play them. So that's why I started learning my theory now. But
I hear you.
yeah, man, when we first started out, it was just playing together and everyone having jamming sessions that
Trust
kind of
me.
motivated us.
And then when Maria used to come up with her guitar as well, take out the guitar, I'm like, yes.
I'm telling you, man.
I saw her playing on the gram the other day. I was like, yes, you're still playing. I'm just
man.
happy to see people that they haven't dropped their influences, isn't it?
I'm telling you, man. Shout out to Maria. Actually, she sold me the first bass that I got.
Hey, shout out Maria.
Goodness, yeah.
Shout out to
Remember
her.
that it's about 40-60 quid, and it came with a little case. That was my first bass. I only just got Protein a couple years back, which is my second bass.
I was gonna say, you're talking about powder, pretty powder. I was like, who's Protein?
Nah, shout out to Protein.
Shout out
Protein. I got my first bass guitar from Maria. So.
Shout out Maria, man.
Yeah, man.
What's that?
Having those jamming sessions, music block elementary days and that.
Do you know, talking about music, we should really get into like the do you remember like Sneakbo and all of them things and Gas Gag and Peckham and all of that.
Precursor to
and
like
Tulsa
drill
and
music and
a lot of people don't know like and gigs and all
back
like where it proper started. Obviously it started from like Skepta and that, but I miss Skepta.
Like grimy and stuff, but like 10.
Yeah, like the nice days. Everyone was on Gas Gag and Sneakbo and Johnny Guns as well. Listen, don't even gas me about Johnny Guns. I'll start screaming. Kiss back like a donkey.
Baby, just gonna when I pop free. You're right. There's two songs that always gas me is Johnny Guns or John Wayne Straight Body.
Yeah.
Political Peak and Sneakbo with Waves Like Us.
Yo,
those two will forever be ingrained in my mind.
We played that earlier. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, I was like, how did I forget
straight
about this
Straight away.
Bruv, I was just like,
that was an era as well.
And I like the way they used to write their bars like it's different from drill now. Drill now is like ip dip in a scoop to the wop kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like back in the day it was a bit more, I feel like it was a bit more intricate. Like the similes and metaphors were they were just written better, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're sounding like old brothers. At the golden age.
But for real. Because like I think Sneakbo was playing that. What was the there was a festival in what's the park in Lloyd Park? I can't remember. And he was I think he was singing one of his old songs, and everyone was I'm sure it was that festival. But anyway, like it's like something like that can live on for so long. Like that age of music, what I feel like was the best age of like for. Let's call it quote unquote underground music. Do you know what I mean?
What in the UK or?
I wouldn't say it in general because obviously not a lot of people knew about it. If you were from like, it was just for the UK and London, innit? Like that was like a nice
kind of a
age.
London thing. Like when you speak to people and then like because a lot of people at like uni that I speak to like they do know their stuff with like drill and stuff and they know their stuff with UK hip hop now. But then you're like, do you remember like back in 010 or like. Do you remember the grime era and they're not really too familiar with it? So maybe it is like a kind of demographic thing. Maybe it was a London thing.
Some people don't know, like, I remember when this whole drill thing came to England, some people have forgotten, like, it started with the Chief Keef thing. I remember everyone, all people on road started to do that hairstyle, the Chief Keef thing, when you, like, dread or twist your hair.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just eating as well. And then people, ASMR and ASMR.
Yeah.
And then everybody started to spit like that and then do the hairstyle, and then people started to show guns in their videos. Some videos got taken down. I think someone from like East or something showed a gun in their video.
Man,
yeah, and it was mad like the way everybody switched up. Even Johnny Gunn switched up his flow.
Yeah, it's
when drill came. Yeah, it's obviously like you're trying to stay current, innit?
Yeah, it's like when trap came about. I remember kind of like a peak trap time being like what 014, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that was like kind of when trap started becoming a pretty dominant genre.
Was that like Young'un? Did Young'un do trap?
I can't remember, I'm thinking kind of like American trap.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of American trap. I'm thinking that's when a lot of noticeably you noticed that there was a lot more trap artists, and it's kind of had a long run. Up until recently, I think that's been like a quite definitive sound. I mean, obviously with trap, people forget that trap isn't just as old as 14. Like, you got people like T.I. who's been doing trap music from time. And like, but I guess trap has like evolved. So whereas it became,
that's like hip hop and Lil Wayne, innit?
yeah, so where it was just a South thing before, or like Southern Atlanta, like or it was a particular sound. It's kind of expanded a little bit more to the mainstream.
That's like now when people in America, they're using like London drill type, UK drill type beats to spit on songs now. You hear the flow like,
or even like dancehall or collaborations.
Yeah, for real
as well.
For real.
A lot of UK artists are getting more collaborations with American artists and vice versa. I mean, and I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing, isn't it? It's nice to have that international appeal. And I think the great thing as well now is that it's not necessarily just us as the UK thinking, the Americans doing us a favour or getting guys. It's kind of like the Americans want to work with us.
Yeah, because we're levels.
Yeah, so levels. It's like, it's kind of
talking about levels
in the player field a bit more, which is good.
I have to shout out Jermaine Riley. I'm so like Jermaine Riley. He's been doing bits from day. Obviously, I clocked on late to him because obviously I was listening to rap at the time. He was like releasing proper music, even though he's releasing proper music now. What's this? He just dropped Mistakes, the deluxe edition, innit?
Okay.
It's on all streaming platforms, but great songwriter, great vocalist as well. He's been doing bits. If you look at his, what's it called? What's the word when you have like, look at the history of your songs and stuff that you've written?
Discography.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I'm not gonna butcher it. But if you look at on his website, like I was listening to his things on Soundcloud, I was like, no, this guy has tunes. Like I feel like he could stop writing and just market the songs he has now. Yeah. Obviously, he's not gonna do that, or he doesn't need to do that because he's
got a good back
catalog. No, literally, if you go back and listen to his songs, like obviously he's shown the growth, but like he's been doing bits for days, innit? He's just great. I always stand Jermaine Riley. I need to stop doing that with my foot, my big size 11s.
Apologies.
Size 11s on my feet. Clodopus. Do you remember that from school with the big
Clodopus?
Yeah. With the big what's the kickers?
I can't even remember.
No, me and my sister.
Don't even get me started. Kickers and Just Do It Back. You know what was so
the
nonsense?
The culture.
Do you remember Dummies?
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started with that and New Addington. People in Addington.
Do you remember that? It's a
no from me,
Dummies and that.
No, like what?
Or the SpongeBob cartoon. You know, everyone had the SpongeBob on crud, like cartoons.
Yeah,
it was like Bugs Bunny, like as a gangster,
just
or like
with the
SpongeBob as a don't.
That used to be the thing. I remember how people used to do that and just get gassed over it. I don't know what else can I.
Honestly, man, you had the kickers. You had the Just Do It bags, which were completely just inconvenient for school. But everyone wanted to rock them for no reason.
What? We have 20,000 books to fit in.
A4 books. You have a PE kit. And you're trying to cram it all into like a A5 small, tiny up bag. Just for clout and appreciation and reputation. But everyone would do it, man. Just Do It bags, man.
That was an error, bro. That was an error.
But the one I remember, man, just dummies.
No, yeah.
I remember when the girls would have the dummies around and you'd be like, hold on a second.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? Is everybody going a bit mad?
Man. What an era.
Do you remember, I think it was called shag bands or something? Shag bands, and then people used to have different colours, and if you break it, you had to do certain things.
Everyone had to like try twist them up.
And there was for different areas there was different things. Like I remember people, someone from North was saying like you had to do something if you broke a certain colour, and then in South, I don't know, it's mad and it's bad. And then I remember what was it? People, sorry, I'm laughing. I remember people in Bromley used to say boom ting. And then, but the word was boomting. The word was boomting, innit? Yeah. It was boomting. Everyone's saying like, everyone Bromley's like boomting. I'm like, boom.
Everyone would try.
I remember my friend at the time, Michaela. Yeah. Shout out Michaela. She used to be like, what are you talking about? It's not boomting, it's boomting.
Yeah. It's a craze, man.
That is so funny. But yeah. Talking about like trends and culture, how do you think, because obviously we want to talk about social media, how do you think like social media is affecting like trends and culture at the moment, like in present times?
I think social media is a weird one because it's a great platform to keep connected with people in some sense, and it's a great platform for business, but not at the expense if you're not going to live your actual life. So listen, we were talking a little bit before the show.
Yeah, we were
saying it's all well and good if I make a post and I post out on social media of me looking like I'm having fun. If I'm actually having fun in person. Like if I snap, the general is coming to Bournemouth. That's great. If you're gassed that the general is coming forth, and once the cameras come off, you're out and about and you're enjoying stuff like we have today.
Yeah,
like,
trust me.
You're going to like have a drink and you're going down to the beach and you're talking foolishness and listening to tunes and catching up. But I think the danger with social media is where you use it to supplement your real life.
That's toxic.
Yeah, because you could be looking like you're having the world of a time, but then as soon as you lock off your phone,
you're on your phone.
Yeah. And that's the bit that's dangerous. But social media is a great platform. It just depends on how you use it. I guess it's like everything. There's a quote from Denzel Washington I heard like earlier last week, and he said, "Don't mistake making a living for living, or don't mistake life with making a living."
That's deep.
And it's slightly different from social media, but it's that sort of rhetoric where social media can almost become a chore sometimes because you feel like you need to post everything that
to stay current or something.
It almost becomes a business, and to some people it is a business, and that's what's great, and that's what it can be used for. But if you kind of mistake it as a supplement for your real life, that's where it gets a bit dangerous, man.
My thing is, like when people are like, social media is becoming toxic, like we were saying earlier, innit?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a positive or negative. I don't think so. I feel like social media is neither positive or negative. I heard this from, I think it was Dana Chanel.
Yeah.
Shout out her. She's the founder of Sprinkle of Jesus.
Nice.
She was saying that it was social media is just access. Literally, like the other day, like a few years ago, you couldn't get access to Rihanna. Now you can DM her, and she might just see your DM. Like she might just see your DM.
Real life, and that's
so
it's
it's a thing about like, social media is literally just access. So it's about you making sure that what you're accessing is having a positive input in your life.
Yeah,
and basically vice versa.
It's like you become your environment, innit? Whatever you decide to feed your mind with,
literally. So
then that's what's gonna influence you. So I guess if you've got a loads of inspiring and motivational people on your feed, then it's probably gonna have an effect on you. Whereas if you got a lot of things that get you down or things that like distract you or depress you and stuff, then it's probably gonna have an impact on you. So I guess it's not the item that's the problem, it's how you use it or how other people use it on you. And that's another danger. Just like the whole scandals back in the day, how like for like we won't get into politics, but for like elections and stuff, how Facebook used like social media to like market to people in a negative way or use your personal data. That's where it gets dangerous.
That's techie.
I think
still.
the actual concept or the actual platform is a good idea. It keeps people connected. So that's my thoughts on social media.
Just people just make sure you know what you're accessing is beneficial to you and your growth and your life. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. And it's always good to have a good distraction and a good laugh as well.
Trust me.
But I think for the most part, as long as you're
what's your best
the best foot forward and feeding yourself with the right things, then.
What's your best TBT moment? Quickly.
TBT, like Throwback Thursday?
Throwback Thursday, quickly.
What, of any moment or musical moment or what?
Just in general.
TBT moment. Us sitting by the bus stop with Walla, just chatting.
Oh my days.
Talking nonsense after school, man.
Guys.
There was 2 bus stops. The one bus stop by the corner shop and that with the 61 bus stop, and the one bus stop by the church.
Listen.
And we've had some good conversations there, boy. We've had some staying after school until nonsense o'clock.
Trust me,
and
until
dark. Nonsense o'clock for us was about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
These times.
Your parents are like, be home by 4,
yeah,
be home
exactly.
by 5.
Especially during winter times when it get dark at 4.
Trust me.
But we've had some good conversations on that.
Them days were the best, bro.
Honestly,
days were the best.
3 Musketeers for real, man.
Trust me. Just think about like looking back.
Yeah.
And looking back on your life, like to learn, like, and not being bitter about certain stuff.
Definitely.
Like, what are your takes on that?
That's definitely a big thing for me, especially at the moment. I feel like, what do they say? Don't look back caught in a racist. Don't look back in anger. It's almost you don't look back with bitterness. You look back to learn. You look back to appreciate. Shout out to Brendan Rashord, man. You look back to almost appreciate that era or what you've learned from that era. You don't look back with regret. So it's easy to think, oh, like if I done this, or I wish this never happened, or I wish that never happened, or if only this was happened differently, or if only if I done that. But the best thing to do is to look back at things like they're a life lesson, and to look back and be grateful for the memories and be grateful for the things that you had at the time, and then move on from there and think, oh, how can I apply this now in my life? And it was like what you said about the anime, where you're saying that with all the anime, these guys went through all these trials and tribulations that seemed like nonsense, but it was all preparing them for the tournament.
Literally.
That they were getting to at the end.
Literally. And they won and they got their spots.
And had they not had those experiences...
Listen, they wouldn't have been prepared for the tournament, do you know what I mean?
It's kind of like the Mr. Miyagi sort of analogy, isn't it? It's like wax on, wax off. Like, why am I doing all this foolishness, man? Why is all this foolishness happening? And then... like when the circumstances comes and it becomes natural, you're like, hold on a second, I learned this from that.
Trust me.
And like at the time, I was vexed. I was like, well, what's this gonna add to my life? Like,
trust.
But
which is foolishness.
Yeah, I guess hindsight's 20/20, you know. So definitely, like, it's easier said than done. But it's a lot better to look back to learn than to look back in anger, or look back with bitterness or resentment. So something I'm working on, man.
Trust me, it's a process, isn't it? It's a process.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think you've looked back on and that you can learn from?
Just like childish behaviors, isn't it? Like,
yeah, man.
It's like, it's just childish behaviors and childish just things that just immature things, like just immature ways of thinking and immature behaviors. Do you know what I mean? It's just patterning up and becoming better, like being an adult. Do you know what I mean? And my thing is also just unlearning things from the past that I thought were truths. Yeah. Do you know when you get told something and then
100%.
You grow up and it's like, wait, that's not it. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have to now unlearn that and learn something. So it's like, again, it's a process, isn't it? It's a process.
That's a hard one. Like unlearning something that you already know. Or like you always want to kind of be right, or you always think you had like a perception of what reality and what truth is. And
literally.
When, like, you are presented with something that goes against your views, right or wrong, you're gonna naturally resist it because that's all you believed. And it's hard to change what you believed. So yeah, definitely unlearning things and relearning, like having the mind of a beginner.
Yeah,
like
literally.
The mastery of an expert is...
What did Jesus say? You have to be a child, innit? To enter the kingdom.
Yeah.
So it's literally just trying to, like I was telling you earlier, it's like I have to go back to, like, I heard a track the other day. It was an instrumental and it just reminded me of the time when I didn't have to deal with like the extraness of what I'm dealing with now. Yeah. So it's like, I just need to let go of certain things, like being timid and all of that foolishness. Like,
100%.
Like, that's not me, and that's a learned behavior. Like, I'm actually a general. Like, not to sound arrogant. Like,
you're the general
like,
in general.
Yeah, like, I'm a general. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm
actually a general. Like, like, I'm actually a general. Like, no one can tell me otherwise because that's who I am. That's how I was made. And before all of like learning and growing up and learning unnecessary things, I was a general. Like, I was just, I was a general. That's it. I didn't even have to I was a general. So for me now, I was just stepping back into that confidence and stepping back into myself. I need to listen. I'm writing a song called "Step Into Myself." You know,
that's good. Hey, plug it, man.
Listen.
Step into yourself.
Yeah, trust me, step into myself.
Exclusive on Trash. I'm telling you, man. Honestly, sometimes you do think like one of the things I wrote down, because I like to journal quotes that I really like, that stick out to me. Like if I ever hear like an audio book or a YouTube video or something and something sticks out, sometimes I tend to write it down. And one thing relating to looking back and unlearning things that I like and that I've written down. I can't remember the context of the original quote, but I believe it's from Motiversity. So shout out to Motiversity.
Shout out you.
It says, just because you failed doesn't make you a failure. And it says you will fail your way to success. And I believe the one you will fail your way to success is Will Smith or it is Denzel Washington. And that puts a lot of things into perspective, because someone else said if you don't fail, you're not even trying. And it is like a lot of things tend to knock your confidence. Like you said with the I'm a general in general. Like sometimes you have a setback and you feel like
you're just getting your feelings about it.
Yeah, like say I play a gig and the gig doesn't go too well. It's easy for you to think, man, like I'm awful, or like, maybe this isn't for me and stuff. But then it's also dangerous if the gig does go well. And this is, I guess, like what Jeff Bezos said about his business with Amazon. It's also, if the gig does go well, then you've tied your self-esteem to that as well.
Yeah.
So now the danger of tying your self-esteem to external things, or it's tying your self-esteem to tangible successes or intangible successes. I'm rambling a little bit, but the danger of tying yourself to whether you win or lose, or whether you achieve something or you don't achieve something, is that it can either increase your confidence or not your confidence. So when it's going well, you feel like you're smarter, or you feel like you're better, or you feel like you're improving. But when it's not going well, you also have those negative feelings. And that's what's dangerous, because the kind of confidence and the kind of self-esteem and goodness has to come from within you, which is a lot easier said than done. But you can't be, I guess this kind of links in with like the stoicism thing. You can't be defined by external factors.
It's true.
You can't let external factors define
what's
the way
within
that you perceive yourself.
So true.
That's
so
definitely a thing that you're working on.
Trust me, it's a process again.
Yeah.
And I feel like just when it comes to like unlearning certain things, do you feel like some people believe that, okay, so let's talk about the older generation. Like when you tell them certain truths from now, do you feel like they reject it because they really believe in what they believe in, so they have faith in what they believe in? Or do you feel like they fear anything outside of it? So like the argument, fear of change, and like faith versus fear. Is it true faith or is it really fear?
Yeah, it might. I think it might be fear to an extent, because people fear what they don't understand, and it links back into that thing. It's like, you meet a stranger on the street, you're more likely to want to talk to me, or you're more likely to want to like speak to someone you've known for time than you, unless like it's beef. But I'm hoping it's not. It's beef. But
straight on set, not.
I'm telling you, you're more likely to like want to talk to someone you've known for time, or someone you're familiar with, or people that you feel like you're familiar with, for better or worse, than you are with strangers. And I guess that same thing applies to ideas. If that's what you know, unfortunately, for better or worse, sometimes people get stuck in their ways. Like they say about, you can't bend a grown tree.
For real, you cannot bend a grown tree. That is something, sorry, I'm even trying to cut you, but that God has actually taught me that, like, just with my parents alone, like, that's just the foundation. But like with other, just in general with people, you can't bend a grown tree. Like, it's grown already. You have to let it do what it wants to do. Don't. You're not here to babysit people. Like, you just have to. You have to fend for yourself first and foremost. Not on a selfish level, but like,
No, but it's also applying it to yourself as well, because that's the humbling thing. Sometimes it's not other people that's the problem.
It's you. Sometimes like you have to realize, like, when you're like me, sometimes I catch myself being bitter. I'm like, definitely stop. Like, you don't need to be like that. That's not you. It's not you.
A lot of the time it is like, well, I say a lot of the time, this is probably just the narcissism kicking in. A lot of the time it is other people. No, but sometimes you do have to reflect, and you're like, hold on a second, is it everybody else or is it me? And that's the big conversation you have with yourself that like gets humbling, in it, because as much as you could say about other people, you can't break you can't bend a grown tree, or you can't change people. Also, you think, well, how much have I changed myself? And if you don't need to change, then don't. But there's always something you can work on.
For real.
And there's always something you can improve. And I guess it's harder to look in the mirror and change yourself than it is to change other people. Kind of links into MJ, innit? You want to make the world a better place?
For real.
Take a look at yourself and make the change.
Bro, it's like...
It's kind of like, yeah.
It's like I was going to say, because we were going to talk about the law of attraction, innit? Like...
Them ones,
Like, giving out... It kind of links into what we were saying, innit? Like, giving out... just being positive and happy and full of joy. Like, you'll receive it. Jesus says, give and it will come back to you. Do you know what I mean?
You are what you attract.
Trust me. So it's like you put out positive energy, you're being charitable, you're being loving, genuinely loving. It will come back to you in its different forms, like whether that's through tangible things or intangible things, like a character change. It works.
Sorry, a quote that links into that is what you put out into the universe is what you get back.
For real.
That's one of the things I wrote down.
For real.
So that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it is like if you're emitting negative energy or you're emitting positive energy, sometimes you bring positive people around you. Or if you're emitting, or vice versa, if you're emitting negative energy, sometimes you bring negativity around you, and that's not necessarily always the case. There's always like Debbie Downers in the world, and there's always like nonsense people and stuff. But sometimes it's like how you are can determine your environment, or how you let your environment determine you can
determine how you will be at the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Determine your life just as much. And that's a good topic of discussion actually. How much you think you're influenced by your environment versus how much you think you influence your environment.
That is such a deep... I remember studying that a bit in college before I dropped out. Yes, I dropped out. Back in what year it was, a few years ago.
Hey, there's loads of multi-billionaires and
Trust me,
millionaires that dropped out.
Listen.
What? Zuckerberg?
Listen.
What?
All of them.
Gates,
all
Jobs,
of them.
man.
Money. But yeah.
Yeah.
It really, like, there's so many different avenues, because it's like, someone could say like, I'm the person I am today because of the people that was around me.
Yeah.
But it's so deep. Like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what?
I think it's part and parcel. See, to an extent, I feel like you can only, if you're put in a toxic environment, it's a lot harder to get out, and it's a lot harder to flourish than if you're put in an environment where you can grow. And that's you become your environment sort of idea. But also, if you have strength and perseverance and willpower, and I think there's stuff in life, regardless of your situation or regardless of your circumstances, there's stuff in your life that you can do to help yourself.
For real.
So I think it's both. I think you have the kind of societal influence where, your environment affects you. So say, for example, if you grow up poor, or if you grow up in a bad neighborhood, there's nothing you can do about the crime rate necessarily in your area, or there's nothing apart from not commit crime, or there's nothing necessarily you can really do about your external circumstances, apart from trying to change those circumstances for yourself. So even say for example, okay, you can't change the world, or you can't change your area, but you can change your environment, or you can change yourself or make movements towards changing yourself and make small changes. I think that's the application. So
I feel like
it's a weird one, man.
It's also like, just to even put into perspective, like from today, like you can take someone out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of someone.
That's exactly it. That's a great thing.
It's like today, like you see when even today when we went out in it and we were sitting at the table and you left your phone, I was like, are you really gonna leave your phone?
I'm telling you. So even like this the way we speak is not contrived, innit? Like you're even saying that, like I didn't even realize I had an accent. I thought I spoke the Queen's English. I didn't even realize I had an accent until I came to university. And then it was actually Zach from the band. He was like, "Oh yeah, you have a London accent." I was like, "What do you mean a London accent?
London,
what kind
like,
of fool is this?"
No, for
like,
real.
"Oh yeah, you from South?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you sound like you have an accent."
Like
and
you can tell.
I guess that is where it's like you're the product of your environment, because I don't really see myself, even when I try speaky spokey, there's always a little them ones, or a little a little bit of slang or a little bit of me.
Yeah, that kind of creeps in for real.
And I like that about myself.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
You're still you regardless. And that's where I guess my environment has influenced me, which I'm grateful for. And I guess the other aspects where, like, say, in life you go through a lot, innit? And say the non-ideal circumstances or not non-ideal situations, I pride myself in the fact that you make the best out of a bad situation. Or yeah, you do what you can.
As much as you
even
can.
if you can't do everything, like if you can do what you can, then you
that's
can
enough,
sleep
innit?
at night and
Yeah.
know that you are enough. So I guess I meant a little bit off topic, but definitely I feel like
it's food for thought.
Accents and stuff like that, or
For
not
real.
being able to take the London out, taking
like,
the guy out of London, but you not being able to take London out of the
listen,
guy.
especially like you see when you're from London, especially people that know it will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you're from South,
Yeah.
like someone from South will know when a person from South is speaking. Like
The ones.
I'll even go deeper to say someone from Croydon speaks different. Sorry, to someone from Brixton.
It's just
But then
dialects,
like
innit?
like someone from East speaks similar to South, but not so similar. Like you just know.
You know,
and then North and South is just
this
completely
is such
different.
a corrupt statement, and I know everyone's going to cuss me for it.
Oh, here we go. Cancel culture. Here we go.
It's so nuts.
You guys ready?
I love how we say someone from South and instantly you hear sirens in the background.
Oh my gosh, trust.
It's so ridiculous. Put some respect on our names.
Trust me, South is popping. You know, I feel like the best music and songwriters and stuff comes from South. To be honest,
and that's one thing. I think that's one thing I realized as well. Even the older I get, I'm like, typical Jamaica, man. Why you got the largest sound system in the block and you're always blaring music at nonsense o'clock? You're not even forcing it. That's just the culture you grew up on. Like I remember 011 and going there and seeing all the market stalls and seeing everyone like blaring their tunes in the
yeah.
Richie cup, what's in my cup stays in my cup, and I'm drinking rum and
Red Bull. That was it.
Come
I'm
on,
drinking rum
and here I'm telling you,
Aye, listen.
man.
But
listen,
those are the teas.
Like the older you do realize, like a lot of things just kind of just influence you and you don't even know it's influencing you. And even like me studying like radio production or me like loving my music. And
how's that going actually with your radio production
good,
and
man.
music?
It's going good. Like, yeah. I'm you know what, I'm grateful to be passionate about something again. I'm grateful to be passionate about something again. To feel like I'm learning something and I'm not just paying the bills.
It's great.
Because that links into the don't mistake life with making a living. It's like obviously you still have to make sure you have a roof over your head at the end of the day and you still have to make sure you pay the bills. But you also got to have like a purpose in life or something to pursue and something to be passionate about.
You have to.
And I think taking time out, as much as I have my like qualms of institutional education and stuff, it's just nice to be motivated and have something to work towards again. And I think maybe that's why a lot of people do study, or a lot of people return to uni, or a lot of people just, you need to have a purpose in life, innit?
For real.
You can have a job and you can have a career, but you got to also have like a purpose and a passion. And I think being able to pursue my passions again, it's just been great. And like on the other hand, being able to not just have to tie my passions to earning a living, because especially when you're trying to do like this entrepreneurship flex and everything, when especially in the early years when no one knows who you are, when that's your only source of income and you need that to make ends meet, you start to have a bit of resentment. But if you have both, you have your 9 to 5 that pays the bills, or at least tries to anyway, and then you have your hobby or your passion and purpose. It's just nice because you can still be creative without feeling like I need this to sell. And obviously in marketing and everything, you do have to get it to sell eventually, but just having that creative outlet
for the love of like, doing it instead of I need the money.
You know, and the money will come in a sense. So yeah, man, it's good to be studying again. It's good to be just back here doing my thing, man. What about yourself?
As in,
just in terms of like your singing career and like working versus like your passion, or your passion in purpose versus like what you have to do now.
So at the moment, obviously I'm a full-time vocalist, but I kind of do want to go just start a little job on the side, so I'm still connecting with people, whether it's cleaning or like housekeeping or something, just so I'm still connecting with people on a daily basis, and getting money at the same time.
Yeah.
Just so I can, keep my funds up, save and all of that to travel and things like that. But it's not about doing it out of fear of trying to pay the bill. Obviously, you have to pay the bills, but it's not about getting the job to pay the bills. It's getting the job in faith of where you're going. Like for me, it's about being a vocalist full time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just glad to say, like, when
you're working towards it.
Yeah, like, literally, like near the end of the year, I'll be able to like fully step into it. So I'm just glad. I'm just happy and I'm optimistic.
That's good.
I'm just using this time to learn like music for real, like music theory, business and stuff like that.
100%, man.
Right. We were even speaking about business earlier and like the importance of like meeting a need in business and stuff like that. What do you have to say about that?
There's some notes. I'll try to get my notes up. But definitely meeting a need in business or meeting a want, people's wants and desires, I guess is a lot easier than trying to market how great your product is or how great your idea or plan or concept was. And I guess, there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that, rather than trying to convince people of how great, or if I tell you, oh, right, I made this composition and I used this EQ and I use this compression and
great.
It's so great because I applied this practice and I applied this principle and blah, blah, blah.
I don't know nothing about this software you're talking about.
And it's great to some people that are really into their tech and really into their, like, they want to know that stuff. But for a lot of people, they just care about the finished product. Like, it doesn't matter if we're recording this podcast and I tell you, but we recorded it at minus 18 dB levels and it never clipped once, which it did. But it never clipped once and I applied this EQ and compression and I spent 18 hours on the mix.
Yes.
Someone out there will be like, raw ratings. But most people are like, listen,
it's gone over the head.
Is the something online? Is it not distorted?
Trust me. Is it on Spotify?
Yeah. Can I hear it with clarity? And like, does it slap? Is there good content? And I think that's what you apply with the meeting the need for people. Like, you've got to almost not get bogged down in the details sometimes. And that's what's hard. Is sometimes when you're building, especially creators are really protective about their stuff.
Literally,
my songs, we hardly ever release any content.
Listen,
it's kind of like you'll get bogged down in the details, especially like mixing or something. You'll get bogged down into, right, this EQ needs to be perfect.
Listen.
And the whole time you lose like perspective, because in the greater picture, once you've like mixed in that track into like the entire song, it sounds absolutely awful because you lost sight of the bigger picture. So,
and to be honest, normal listeners wouldn't really know like the difference. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, you have to, like to balance that out, you do need to be like detailed in your work. But 100%. Just in a healthy way, in a healthy manner.
100%.
So, like, what's your 2020 visions? What's your 2020 vision?
That's a good...
Can we get a little sneak peek?
Specific details or generalized statements?
I say generalized statements. You can hint towards something specific if you want to. I mean...
Peace.
Definitely.
Joy. Living up to my full potential. Love and happiness, innit?
I feel that.
In specifics, like I want projects out. Like I want hopefully 4 projects out, work on my business, graduate, get my career going.
We're here for it.
Get my finances up and like be happy, innit? And yeah, man, just do my thing. Progress as a person, get better as a person, and
Trust me.
Better. So yeah, man.
Do better.
What about yourself?
Stormzy. Me, for real, like, as you said, peace as well, like, Lord knows, peace, patience, joy, like, from within and not, like, external from other people or for other things or events, do you know what I mean?
That's one topic I want to go into quickly before we end the podcast.
Yeah.
Simplicity, the art of simplicity, but I'll let you finish first.
Literally, I'm
gonna let you finish. But just that. Troy Banxz has the greatest podcast of all time. No,
amen. Plug, shameless plug. I'm here for it.
Just like,
peace, joy, patience, and that's like I need a character shift for where I'm going, because obviously I believe in vision. I believe in you have to see with your vision, as in what you see in your head, more than what you see.
The optician,
Listen,
the ambition, that's why we are class the fish. Don't gas me.
Master,
Do you think
come and spit the bars. But no, for real, like if you go, sometimes when you go by what you see, like visually, you just get disheartened. So it's always about
that's a fire
the
quote,
vision.
Man.
Like
If I had the sound effects for it, I'd add like a little, do 5 seconds. Yeah, man. Hey, that's a whole different era as well.
But like I remember. So here's the tea. No, so before I got like my whole mic set up and stuff, I used to practice with what I used to do. I had this golf club that even the golf club that you gave me. Do you remember? No, sorry, it wasn't that you gave me. It was from the trip, the golf thing that you were on, which is a whole nother story about vision. But yeah, he gave one of the people that I met there, he gave me a golf club for free. Then what I did, I taped toilet tissue paper to it and put what's it called? Deodorant spray in it, and that was my mic. That's how I used to practice.
Yeah.
And then I got blessed, like God blessed me. And I was able to buy the things that were on my list, which is so funny because I was making a list for no reason. I was just on Amazon making a list like, oh yeah, I can see myself with this. And then I got blessed to buy it. And even Troy was telling me about mics. I got blessed even more to get the exact mic he was talking about.
That's fire, man.
It was like, I was envisioning it before. I was so happy and so content with it before. Again, it links into the law of attraction. And what Jesus said about giving, it will come back to you.
And that links into my favorite song at the moment. I listen to it all the time, like every day. That was my song of the decade, last decade. It was How Life Changed by T.I. I listen to that every day when I get back in from like uni or back from work. And basically the chorus and the pre-chorus just says, when I think about all we've done, it's amazing to see how far we come. And it's great having that perspective, because you do look back sometimes, you do look back and reflect, and you think, raw, all that stuff that I said I was going to do or that I wanted to do years ago, like, I'm making progress. And like some of that stuff I've already achieved. But at the time, it feels like there's always more that you need to do and more that you need to achieve. And it's great to have that spirit of ambition. Yeah. But also, it's great to know that you're enough in it.
Yeah, literally.
It's great to know that regardless, you're moving in the right direction and you're making progress. So yeah, I love that tune, man. I love that.
There was a quote I learned while I was knocking. There was a job I used to have, knocking doors. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to quit, but you know, that's all another story.
Was it sales?
Yeah, it's just like switching people over to save money on electricity.
Solid. Yeah.
A quote that came to me was, "I am the person I will become."
Amen.
So it's like sometimes we're always trying to be the person of the future when
real life,
everything that you will become is inside of you. It just takes the external situations. It takes the situations to bring it out of you. Do you know what I mean? It takes a hard trial to bring it out of you. Yeah. And so you just need to remember, I am the person I will become. When you feel like you're not where you want to be, you're the person you will become. So like, be. I think that's another thing for this 2020. I think God just wants me to be. Yeah. Just be.
Exist. Man.
Trust me.
Thank you for tuning in. Next time, we will talk about simplicity and we will talk about minimalism. But keeping it simple. I'm going to stick with that quote. And I'm going to end by saying the Troy's Tracks Song of the Day for the first podcast show.
Should we get a drum roll?
Yeah.
The
Troy's Tracks Song of the Day is How Life Changed by T.I. When I think about all we've done, it's amazing to see how far we've come. See you later.